All right, welcome back again, IED. So now we are going to be going and modeling our pommel. That's going to be underneath the handle, and that's what's going to be where the strap is attached to, right? The pommel. So what we're going to do is we are going to just double check again. We got to get used to looking at measurements of our parts to, model other parts that are going to be assembled to it. So if we tap on this top circle again, I want to then go to the tape measure, which is on the top right. Tap on that. It's going to give me a window. It's going to say, hey, the radius. It's interesting that it gives me a radius. Usually it'll be a diameter, but 0.625. So if we double that, we can get the diameter, which is going to be 1.25. So diameter 1.25. Remember that. So we're going to go back. I'm going to make a new document. Hit the blue plus sign. And remember initials. And then underscore. And we're going to call this pommel. Like that, I think. Okay. And then we're going to now model our pommel. I'm going to, let's see. Yeah, let's start on the top again. I'm going to start on the top plane. So I'm going to turn off my front and my right. Remember, you can turn the visibility on and off of those anytime you want with the tapping of the eye next to whichever plane you want. And I'm going to start a new sketch. The pen icon, the 2D tool, I'm going to tap on that. It's going to say select a plane, select a face or surface. I'm going to tap on the top plane. Once I do that, it opens up the 2D menu where I can start modeling or start sketching. And the first thing I want to make is a circle, a center point circle. That's going to be this one. Tap on that. I'm going to tap on the origin. Remember, always start on the origin for your first sketch. Tap on the origin. I'm going to tap and drag, and I'm going to randomly create a circle. I'm going to now dimension that. Remember, dimension is going to be underneath the 2D tool, the pen icon here. I'm going to tap on the pen icon, and dimension is located right here. Tap on that, and then tap on the edge of the circle. Once that happens, then the number comes up. I can tap on this and change that diameter. Now, the handle diameter was 1.25, so that's what we're going to make this as well. Actually, let's do a subtraction extrusion later on. So let's make this a little bit bigger. So we're going to do, let's say, 2. Diameter of 2 inches. So we're going to go 2 and then the green check mark. And then what we're going to do is we are going to draw another circle. Let's practice with extrusion. First, I'm going to extrude this. So we're going to go and finish the sketch. We're going to go and extrude this. So I'm going to tap on the sphere icon, the 3D tool, and I'm going to go to extrude. I tap extrude. I'm going to tap on the circle I made, and it knows that I want to extrude that circle. I'm going to extrude this up about 3.5 inches. I'm going to hit the green check mark. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new sketch on the top surface of this cylinder. So I'm going to go and make a new sketch by tapping on that pen icon. Once I do that, it says select a surface, select a plane, select a face. The face or surface I'm going to select is the top of the cylinder. Once I do that, what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to be able to draw another circle inside of this cylinder surface. So I'm going to go to center point circle, which is right here. And I'm going to do my best to tap on not the center, just because I want to show you guys something. So I'm going to tap like over here. So not the center of that cylinder. And then I'm going to tap and drag to make this circle. And you can see that square there's going to be some snap-ons where it snaps to a point. Right there, it's snapping on so that the edge is connected to the center of my cylinder. So I don't want that. So try not to have it snap on anything. So like right here would be good, and right here would be no good. You don't want any kind of constraint added to your sketch yet. So that would be like a geometric constraint. We don't want that just yet because we're going to be adding our own in just a second. So right there, I'm going to let go of my circle. Again, if you mess up, if anything happens like that, you can always undo. Undo is at the top left. You can see right there the arrow going back. If I tap that, the circle's gone. I'm going to have to draw that again. And tap, draw, and again, I'm getting some snap-ons. Right there's good. So first thing I want to do is I want to make this go to the center. So I'm going to add a geometric constraint. I want to snap on the center point of that small circle. I want it to be concentric with the bigger cylinder. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a geometric constraint by going to Sketch, the little pen icon, 2D sketch mode, and somewhere in here at the bottom there's going to be this concentric tool. You can see it right here. And that allows, if you have two circles, they will make it so that the circles share the same center point. So if I tap on concentric, it says a constraint must involve something from the sketch. So I'm going to go to that center point and, whoops, hold on. That didn't work. Let me try that again. So I'm going to tap on the circle first. Maybe let's try that. So I'm going to tap on the circle, and then I'm going to go to 2D, and then I'm going to go to concentric. What if I do it like this? There we go. Okay. So that took me a while. A little bit different than Inventor, right? So I'm going to undo that one more time. So say it's off-centered. I guess with the proper order of things, proper order would be to select the two geometric shapes that you want to add a geometric constraint to. So in this case, I'm going to select the two circles. The geometric constraint that I want to add for those two circles is I want them to be concentric with one another. I want them to share the same center point. So once they're both selected, then I can go to the pen icon, the 2D tool, and now I can tap on concentric. Once I do that, watch, it snaps on to the center. That's all I wanted. I know it took a little bit, but that is what we need to do. So now, after that, now I can go ahead and dimension this. So I'm going to go back to my pen icon, 2D tool, dimension. I'm going to tap on that small circle. It's only 0.23 in diameter, so I'm going to change that. Remember, our handle is 1.25. So I'm going to change that to 1.25, green check mark, and there it is. Now what I want to do is I want to cut that away because I'm going to insert the handle into this pommel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude. So I'm going to use a 3D tool, the sphere icon. I'm going to extrude. Inventor's pretty smart, or sorry, Onshape is pretty smart, and it knows I automatically want to extrude that circle. The one thing it doesn't know, though, is I want to take away. I don't want to add. So over here, result body operation type, where it says add, I'm going to tap that, and I'm going to be able to change that to remove. It's going to then move it down, and since we extruded this 3.5, how about we extrude cut this away 2.5, so there's about an inch left at the bottom. So we're going to type in for depth, and so once I change direction to remove, I'm going to depth instead of 1, we're going to do 2.5. And blind is fine as the end type. So what blind is, a blind hole. If you look down that hole, you can't see through it. You're technically, it's a blind hole, right? You can't see through the other part. A through hole would be if you could see through it, they'd be extruded all the way through. So I'm going to make it blind hole, depth 2.5, green check mark, so that extrudes it down just enough so that my handle can fit in there. And then again, just like everything else, I'm going to make it look pretty, add some detail to it. And what we're going to do here is we are going to make a circle on the bottom surface. So I need to make another sketch. I'm going to go to my pen tool, and I'm going to tap on the bottom surface. And what I'm going to do, because we have the origin point, that's real nice, we're going to use that to our advantage. We're going to use our center point circle right here. We're going to start on the origin, tap on the origin, tap and drag, make a random size circle, go to dimension, tap on that circle we just made, dimension it so that it is, let's say, 1.25. And we're going to hit the green check mark. And now I'm thinking now that might not be big enough. So now this is what's really cool. You can always go back to your dimensions and change them again. So that 1.25, I can tap on that again. Maybe it's a double tap. Yep, double tap, triple tap, I think. And I'm going to change that to 1.75. And then a green check mark again. Now it's too much. How about 1.5? 1.5 looks perfect. Okay, so now 1.5 is the size of our new circle. What we're going to do is we are going to extrude. And what we're going to do is we're not going to extrude this inner circle. We're going to extrude this ring around it. Okay, so what we're going to do, and you'll see in a second, I'm going to go to extrude. So that's a 3D tool. I'm going to click and tap on the sphere on the top left, and I'm going to extrude. Now that surface that it assumed I wanted to extrude is not actually what I want to extrude. I want to extrude the ring around that. So I'm going to tap that ring instead, and I'm going to tap that circle to deselect it. Maybe let's try that one more time. So that looked a little confusing to me. So I'm going to go back to extrude. And again, so now nothing's selected. That's good. I'm going to tap on the ring here. And it looks like it wants to add. I actually want to remove again. So I'm going to go to remove. Okay, just like that. And now 1 inch. I think that's actually good for once. We don't have to change the depth. So I'm going to do that one more time just because it looked confusing, didn't react the way I wanted it to. So what I did is I went to extrude, and then I selected the outside ring. It assumes I want to add, but I actually want to remove. And now that's exactly what I want. Now it doesn't look quite right now, but it will in a second, trust me. So now I'm going to hit the check mark by extrude 3, check mark, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add a fillet. We're going to add a couple of fillets. So I'm going to go to my 3D tool. I'm going to go to fillet. It's not fillet, not Chick-fil-A, it's fillet. Right there. And now I'm going to tap on this bottom cylinder edge. You can see that changes it a little bit. I'm going to increase my radius of that fillet to about let's say 0.5. Let's try that. That looks pretty cool. And then I'm going to hit the check mark on that fillet, and I'm going to add a separate fillet to that outer ring, that larger part of that cylinder. So I'm going to go again to 3D, the sphere icon, and I'm going to go to fillet again, and I'm going to tap on the larger cylinder edge, and that one is just going to be a bit of a smaller radius. Instead of 0.5, we're going to do 0.25. Check mark, and there we go. That looks a little bit nicer. All right, and that is it. Later on, we'll be able to customize our parts a little bit more. So if you ever want to go back into this and change things up after the fact, after it's all said and done, we can always do that. But right now, that's kind of what we're looking for. if we really wanted to, I know I just said we were done. If you really wanted to, you could also fillet this top edge if you were so inclined to. Change that to maybe make it consistent with the other part, 0.25. I don't know. If you think that looks good, keep it. If you don't, I don't know. What the heck, let's do it. Fillet, right there, 0.25. We could always change it later. Maybe if we in class, if we say, hey, Mr. C, no, that doesn't look good. We could always just take it off. I'll show you how to do that later. Okay, so that is it right there. That is the pommel. Now we might attempt the strap. We'll see how that goes. If not, we can start assembling everything. We'll see you in the next one.